I love you more than everything.
Everything.
Everything. Everything.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? You got Elliot, you got Morgan. We are Movie Files, here to give you our thoughts, our review for the film Beautiful Boy, which stars, I don't say Michael Scott, but stars Steve Carell and Timothée Chalamet. And basically, this is a true story, guys. So this is based on a father and son and kind of family relationship. Where Timothée Chalamet deals with drug addiction, and we're seeing everything that comes along with that. So with that being said, we're going to touch on some positives, some negatives, give you guys our overall thoughts. But before we do that, I want to welcome all you guys to Movie Files. This channel is filled with over 100 movie reviews. We got TV reviews, trailer reactions, and unboxing videos. So definitely, if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all of our latest content. So with that out of the way, I'm going to have you kick it off, Morgan. Tell the people, what was it about Beautiful Boy that you enjoyed?
Yes. So right off the bat, performances. That's what I was most excited about going into the film because I knew the two main players. And Timothée Chalamet, I didn't even know who he was up until a year ago, but I was blown away by his performance in Call Me by Your Name. I'm so just like obsessed with him. I think he does a really great job. I think he's just going to do great things. So I was really excited to see him. And then Steve Carell, we're both huge fans of The Office. Love him. It's like, I wish he was my uncle or something. But I was excited to see their dynamic together. So, I was pleased with that. So that was a pro for me. Also, it was shot very well. I just thought it was like very beautiful. It was a lot of scenes in California. There's some in New York, and it's just very pretty. And then also I did like how it showed the family dynamic and how like not just obviously through the trailer you see that the key players are going to be Steve Carell and Timothée Chalamet and kind of their relationship. But it also goes into his stepmom and how she's affected by it, his younger siblings, his mom. So I thought that was very interesting, some friends and things like that. So I really liked how it just wasn't like one-sided, and even himself, how it affected him. So I really liked how it was very dynamic in that sense. They showed how that drug addiction affects everyone involved. So I really like that. Yeah,
very well said. I mean, the same sentiments that she just brought up. Obviously, Steve Carell, Timothée Chalamet, we know about their work. I was joking with Morgan after we saw it. I mean, this is what happens when Holly and Michael have a kid. You know, he becomes a drug addict. But anyway, no, those two performances were home runs. And everyone that Morgan just mentioned, the younger kids, the stepmom, and everyone that was on the screen did a really good job. And the performances were really there. But definitely, the way this film is watching the dynamic between Steve Carell and Timothée Chalamet, and we watched them throughout the year. The way this film is kind of structured, this isn't your standard beginning, middle, and end type of story. We see these different moments throughout their life, and at the end of the movie, you felt the relationship. I mean, you felt so bad for both of Timothée Chalamet and Michael Scott. I mean, you could see where one could think certain things about, Steve Carell has this new family, and how Timothée Chalamet, Nick character, how he looks at that dynamic, and maybe looks at his younger brother as like a replacement of him, because he has this disease, which drug addicts have. It's a disease. So in the dynamic of Michael Scott, Steve Carell, his son, it's his firstborn child. I mean, his new wife is just like, not kind of being bad, but it's just like, hey.
But at the end of the day, it's not her biological son. And seeing it from her point of view, and then also as a parent, like wanting to help, but knowing that even if you do help, you're still. He said at a point in the scene or in the movie where it's like, I help him, he dies. I don't help him, he dies. So it's just like it's a very lose-lose situation. Yeah, absolutely. And then also I think too, like not always knowing that they're back on drugs. There were moments where multiple times
you were like,
where you're like, oh, he's clean. This is good, and the dad's under that assumption, but it's just like really breaking that bond of trust too, and then having to rebuild that, and how difficult that really truly is.
I thought the film, with it being a true story, did a really good job. Like Morgan just said, you don't know when Nick is clean, and if he's manipulating the situation, if he's using his father as, taking advantage of him. I mean, I thought it was really well done in the sense of that, in storytelling. So kind of going into the storytelling elements, kind of jumping into our negatives here a little bit. Again, this isn't your traditional beginning, middle, end, and you're watching this arc of these characters, but the way it was kind of told was a little off-putting. Like, we would go into these flashbacks, it didn't really go into what was going on in the moment. So what did you think about the story?
Yeah, and we talked about this as soon as we left. We were like, how long did this all take place within this movie? I think it was like a 2-hour movie or so.
Yeah.
But it took place over a span of many years.
I would say 5 years.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
And his drug addiction went even longer than that, really.
Yeah.
So I think where there was trouble is it's a true story.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to tell something and give it justice and bring it to life.
Yeah.
But there's so much to pack into
no way
a movie.
There's
no way that they're going to be able to let moments just sit and tell the whole story. It's just kind of impossible. So maybe if like you were to do it into a series, it might be a little easier. But as a movie, it is a little difficult,
a little jarring,
fitting all of those years into 2 hours. So I think you felt that. I did, and you did as well.
And that kind of touches when I brought up Steve Carell's wife, his new wife and new family. You see where she's coming from, but you didn't really spend time with her to kind of understand why she kind of does something later in the movie and how she reacts to certain things that Nick does later in the film. There's a particular character that Nick meets kind of close to the third act that I don't remember meeting her at all in the film. And they have this relationship. So they were definitely, to me, as Morgan has mentioned, and she said really well, this is a true story. So it's hard to put everything that happened in 2 hours. So I feel like they picked out certain things that the father and son probably said that happened and made into the movie, and it was like highlights of things that you kind of missed it.
Book.
They wrote a book together describing it.
That would be interesting to read, because I think it's a little easier to put it into
context of a
300-page book or whatever. Than it is in a movie. And that's really where, to me, like I said, the narrative, the way it was told, was a little jarring at times, and you just didn't have, as you just mentioned, kind of developed moments and kind of earned moments. So, but other than that, I mean, the film, like you had mentioned earlier, looked beautiful. The performances are great. There's moments where I know you kind of teared up. So, I mean, the emotional moments landed. And overall, I think it was a pretty good film. So, kind of just wrapping up here, Morgan, with the score, I'm going to have you lead off. What would you give this film? I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I did enjoy it. So yeah, I think the reason I give it a 4 is just because, again, it felt a little discombobulated in some moments. But again, I understand why it was like that. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I really did like it.
A little bit higher than mine. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5. It was a film, again, I knew what I was getting into, seeing the trailer and knowing what the synopsis was about. But again, I thought that there could have been more. That I feel like a lot of times they point out the highlights. It's so hard to bring up the movie, but I feel like they kind of surfaced over certain things, like who was Nick? What was in his mind when he was thinking certain things? We didn't really get those moments.
How did he get into this? I think they kind of touched on that.
But not enough.
I think they could have dug a little deeper.
It was very, very surface level things that we saw.
And maybe that was something too that they didn't want to completely share. I don't know.
But I mean, if you're going to open yourself up to your family, you should.
I mean, I don't know if that's true. I'm just...
I mean, there were moments that I think that they probably left some things out just because, again, the runtime, and you probably don't want to dive too deep into these characters because you only have a certain amount of things you can do. But I felt that there could have been more to find out about these characters. But all in all, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5. I would recommend it, guys. If you haven't already seen it, definitely check it out. Or maybe it's something you can wait for it when it comes out on Redbox or Netflix or what have you. But
I mean, I would probably say you could wait for it. We did get to see it. We had a cool movie theater experience.
Like an art house film.
It's literally, it's the oldest movie theater in St. Louis. And it's super cute, very nostalgic. So, I think our movie experience was cool. But, I think you can wait.
Yeah, I think you can too. But anyway, guys, if you've seen the movie, let us know what you thought of Beautiful Boy. If you liked it more than us, if you didn't like it, tell us what you think about this film. If you, like I said at the top, if you haven't already, guys, definitely subscribe to our channel. Like and share this video. Keep an eye out for all the content we have coming up pretty soon. Just did a review for Suspiria, Widows. We did a trailer reaction for Toy Story 4 and Pikachu. So definitely check out that content. And we have some more stuff coming to you guys pretty soon. So again, thanks for watching this video. And we'll see you on the next one.